Whenever it's my episodes, we have so many people. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. This is a show brought to you by the ServiceNow Developer Program on Community to basically unwind from the week, jump into some true coding or app building, and just have a lot of fun. We're going to drink. We're going to have some fun. We have a lot of guests on our episode today, so I'm going to go ahead and start with introductions. Hi, everyone. I'm Earl Duque. I'm a senior developer advocate here at ServiceNow. I just realized I never changed my title from the joke one when we were doing pre-show, so my bad. I've been with ServiceNow for about 3 years now, and I'm going to pass it over to Jesselyn.
Hi everyone, I'm Jesselyn. I am Earl's BFF, also a ServiceNow developer and MVP.
Hey everyone, Laszlo here. I'd love to be Earl's BFF one day, but today, just Friday night drunk with a Belgian beer, which you can't see due to the blur that I got from my father-in-law.
Hi, I'm Shaquille, and I am better than all these other fools on the show. No one is as good as me at coding or doing anything. I'm just Shaquille's microphone's not working, so I'm just messing with him. Thanks for being with us, Shaquille.
Oh, that's me. So Paige Duffy, I am a product success manager here at ServiceNow. Yeah.
Hey all, this is Paul, and 2 times MVP and Friday fun. I'm just drinking some, kind of thumbs up
We're
with me.
not doing drinks yet. Not doing drinks yet.
Hello everyone, this is Sandeep Datta here, and I'm working as Enterprise Technical Architect, and it's been my 3rd time MVP. So I welcome everyone. Let's see some good stuff happening. Thank you.
Nice. So it is technically an all MVP stream today, because even though myself and Paige are now employees, we were previously developer MVPs. So everybody on the screen has been an MVP for I think, oh no, not multiple years. We have some people that were have our first year MVPs. But yeah, okay. So this is Live Coding Happy Hour. So what we do to make sure everyone's a little bit more relaxed and understanding that there may be mistakes and there may be some weird code situations on here. We do drink during this one to kind of lighten it up. So we introduce our drinks during this show. I'm doing a repeat because I ran to the fridge and grabbed the first thing I found. I have a Cantarillos. It's like a Jarritos, but alcoholic. It's a Mandarin version. So I'm drinking that. We'll go this way.
I have Vanilla Coke Zero, the best soda in existence.
Do you have something, Shaquille? Do you have it? Water, I'm guessing? Okay. Last one.
As I've spoiled already, Belgian blonde, good stuff.
We'll go in a circle, Paige.
Water? No, it's really water.
Water. It's vodka.
I would not survive if that was all vodka.
Sandeep.
Hey, this is Bira. It's an Indian craft beer. It's called as Bira Rise.
Nice. And Paul.
So I have this thumbs up. This was something I was started from my way of childhood. This is very famous in India. like I love the tagline comes with this: "Taste the thunder."
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Oh,
And if this is your first time seeing this episode, and I actually do believe there will be a lot of new watchers on this one, because anytime we talk about generative AI stuff on these shows, we actually get a lot of new viewers. So a lot of people will be watching this after the fact, I bet. But we do we drink when there's successes. We drink when one of the inside jokes happens on our shows. And there's a lot of inside jokes at this point. And then we also rate our drinks at the end. So if you're interested in what we're drinking today, you can stick around to the end and see what we actually rated it. Sweet. Okay. So today's an interesting episode. So what we're doing, to explain it to everybody viewing at home, is we are going to tackle Now Assist code generation in the Xanadu release specifically. So what we're going to do is I have prepared dozens of code basically that we would want to see the code generation tool tackle, and then we're going to grade each of the results. So us 7 on your screen are in celebration of the start of the Paralympics and the ending of the Olympics. We're going to judge each of the prompts and give it a grading score from 1 to 10, and we'll see which ones get perfect 10s and we'll see which ones could use some work, and then we'll kind of talk it through. But we're going to see how well CodeGen does when being reviewed by 7 MVPs or 5 MVPs and 2 employees. So yeah, let's just get into it. I have to click around. Does this look better or this one? We'll do this one. So I'm in a pretty fresh, and the things I have already done is I've turned on Now Assist for Creator and Now Assist for ITSM actually. And I've assigned myself all the relevant roles that are needed to do this. And I've turned on Now Assist panel, and I have turned on all of the skills for Now Assist, even though CodeGen actually turned on by itself automatically. Turn on Now Assist. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in. And remember, for all of our judges, make sure to monitor chat, and just have fun with me as I figure out how to get some of this done. Whew. How's everyone doing today? Anyways, it's Friday.
It's Friday, yay! I love Friday.
It's Friday night here. Awesome.
Oh, and for US based ServiceNow employees, it's actually a 4-day weekend for us.
Yes.
So it's a
I've
long
been on
weekend,
vacation
right?
too, so
So-
it's nice.
Okay, so I have this global script include that I made earlier. It is blank, so there's nothing there. But I just made it, and I've where's my analysis code?
Did you give yourself the right role?
It's there. It just took a second to load. Okay, we're off to a great start, everybody.
You can't even see it 'cause our faces are covering it anyways. So
So this is what I'm talking about. So this thing down here is how you know that you are able to do code with Now Assist. And to activate code with Now Assist, when you go into any of these script boxes, if you see that little the sparkles, yeah, Paige points it out. Sparkles. It's the oddly, it's just what's been chosen as the generative AI emoji across the industry, and I'm digging it. If you see that, you can don't you dare add them in the chat. That doesn't work here. If you go if you see this prompt, that means you can press Control Enter if you're on a PC, or Command Enter on a Mac, and you'll be able to see the new modal that pops up for Code Assist. And I actually want to talk about that because we had some people asking about that, like, hey, why? Oh, was it you, Laszlo? It was you, Laszlo, right?
Could as well be me.
Why in a dialog box now instead of inline comments? Because in the previous version of Code with Now Assist, you would type your the prompt that you want to generate as a / comment, and then press Control Enter or Command Enter, and that's what would generate the code. But we've moved to this dialog box for the sake of being a little bit. I think this is why they aligned with other industries. players that this is the common way that people are doing it. Okay, so the first prompt that we're going to do is a glide aggregate that sums up the reassignment count of all incidents, and we're going to judge it. So I'm going to give it as is, and we're going to generate it. And then we're going to give ourselves some time to grade it. Okay. Okay, that's going to factor into my scoring. Okay, once I see more people have put their scoring, once I see a majority have scored, then we'll start talking about it. And reminder for the judges, edit your title to put in your score. Okay, so oh man, I gave the highest score. Okay, now I'm internally adjusting my expectations backwards. Oh, okay. So I want to talk about some of the lower scores, some of the higher scores. I mean, let's kick it off with Laszlo. Why two?
Sure. I mean, to be fair, it's off to a okay start with the typo. Still makes sense, but often what I found with these kind of script blocks, it's just a half-assed job, honestly. It's just incomplete. I don't know, but that's on me completely. I have no idea what the set group force is doing here.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about some of the stuff that's missing. One, it misspelled reassignment count, even though I gave it as a term. So that's
I didn't even realize that.
That's the first time I've seen it do that. So that's interesting. It just renamed the variable for me. Okay, that's fine. I would have liked to see it actually pull up the aggregate as like a variable so that we can use it immediately. I thought that I would have given an extra point for that. But I want to ask Sandeep, why an 8?
It's a great start. You never thought that AI is going to give us the code. So it's actually half of my semester doing my computer science.
This is great expectation level setting. So I want to just point out really quick that Laszlo started off with it's okay and gave it a 2. And then Sandeep said it's a start and gave it an 8. So we have the whole spread of how judges look at things. And that's okay. Just be consistent with how you just graded. And then
Eastern
we'll be okay.
European, ever pessimistic perspectives, man.
I kind of want to record everyone's scores. Then we can have a little play sheet earlier. This is going to be a really entertaining episode to give to some of our internal people. Okay. How's that format? Was everyone happy with that? Did you want to talk about this one more? Do we want to move on to the next one? Good.
I think let's see some new.
All right. The next one is a regex to validate email addresses. All right. Let's run it. Oh, I probably should have went onto a new line. Oops. Oh, it did. It worked. Whoa. Okay. So
wait, it combined your other prompt, didn't it?
No, did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it did. Yeah.
It did. Okay. Let me rerun it then. Interesting. Why did it?
It's doing code complete. It's looking at what's above it and trying to take that into account.
I was just going for the extra points.
It takes up all this.
It was making up for the last problem. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try harder. Okay, we're gonna do it as a standalone. Okay, that was fast. All right. I actually know what I'm gonna set my. Okay, everyone good? Okay, So the scoring we're putting for this one, and I'm actually going to do this again, just because I can just go through the video again and see what people graded it. We're all landing around the same. I would love to ask Shaquille why he thinks it's a 4, but I'm not going to ask him. I don't know. What do you all think? Because I'm giving it a 7 because I know where it's going with some of this, and I see some of the. I just know what a complete email regex looks like, and this isn't that. Like, there's a lot more nuance in email addresses if you want to be 100% sure you get all email addresses. But I understand where it's going with this, and this will cover a lot of basic stuff. Anybody else have any other thoughts?
For me, sorry. I don't know regex, so looking at this, I'm like, yeah, that could be right. I don't know.
I'm right there with you. But I think that brings up a really good point that you have to understand the code that it's producing. So it's great that it produced it, but I don't actually know if that's right. No,
True. But on the flip side, it also produced it for you, so you can go move quickly with prototyping or getting scripts done, and then go back and correct.
What I just wanted to add, it was a super short and generic prompt, really, for this use case. As you said, there's so many other layers of email address validation, and you can't just figure out all your use cases. It's a starting point, and I think, yeah, for that it's okay. What I would have liked to see for some extra points is some additional lines of code or putting it into a function, and you actually pass in the email address. It gives you whether this is valid or not. But technically, this is what you asked for.
For a regex, I think when you see a dot and the @, I think it is doing its job.
Yeah, for email at least. Phil in the chat says a low coder wouldn't ask for regex. I understand code. I still would look up my regex stuff anyways. So I think that one's not necessarily just for low coders. How can we validate this? We could.
This is from the code perspective.
Let's validate. We can validate it here.
While we're doing that, I mean, I put it in the chat as well, but I do want to clarify that the actual target persona, so when they're building all of this, the target persona for code generation is still a developer. It's not expected that someone that doesn't know or understand code is going to be using it, because even if it's right, they don't know that it's right. So there is an expectation that you have a basic understanding of how script works. Just to flip back to that low code comment.
I mean, it's generally validating something at something dot something. So I see that. Okay, well, that's the scores we gave it. Let's move on to the next prompt. I'm going to give it another low ball one, just because I want us to make sure we have baselines for some of the easier ones. So the next prompt I'm doing is a glide record query to find all high priority incidents. So everybody on this call hopefully can do this one in their sleep. But let's see what CodeGen does for that. You know what? Yeah, okay. I'm going to change my number. I'm much more like high grader than you all. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so what I'm seeing on here is 9, 8, 5, 8, 8, 5, 6. Someone that around the average, someone that gave an 8. Why an 8?
I was an 8, but sorry, my 8. It's terrible variable name. Otherwise, it's fine.
I appreciate that the variable name is just no longer GR.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever played with the previous version of it, it was GR for all of these. So that's actually step in the right direction for me.
Yeah. Paul, why is 6? Paul? Oh, can anybody hear him? I can't hear him.
No, it's like a silent movie for me.
Okay.
I think you have to narrate him as well now.
Oh, it's I don't know what to say.
Okay, two down.
Huh. Okay, we lost 2 microphones now. Interesting. Well, so I was saying 8. I was like it. This is correct. I wouldn't give it a 10 because when I see these kind of things, no, they're going to do something with this, right? Like, so I would have. Well, okay. So how would we grade this? Like, I don't want it to start doing like a loop or the next part of it because I didn't ask for it. So that's technically correct for that. Laszlo made a good point that it could have been a better naming mechanism, and I have given that feedback to the engineers for that. Like, stop naming Glide Records GR and make it more. We have conventions for it. I don't know. Would I want it to start the next part of it for me?
I kind of would, but I come from the like I grew up in ServiceNow using the macros, the syntax macros. So var gr space. So I have like this expectation that it's going to give me the basic outline of the next steps.
Same here. That I was grading with the intention of if it had the loop and the dot next, then that would have been like a 10 for me.
Could even be commented out, that part. It's like, hey, maybe you could. Maybe this is what you
Yeah,
want to do with it.
that's a good point. Like, give us some of the scaffolding for the rest of it, and just as a comment. Okay, cool. All right. The next one I have is something that doesn't necessarily have to do with ServiceNow methods, but it's a function to convert a date to a specific format, and that's it. No additional information. I've not tested these beforehand, by the way. Just wanted to make sure I say that.
This one makes me nervous. Better variable naming.
Yeah. That's a bad prompt, I would say. Or
What it did with the prompt that we gave it is what we're grading.
We're not grading Earl's prompts.
Yes, please. Getting on Paige's score. Hey. Okay, we're getting closer on agreeing on some of this. Paul, your mic working yet?
Yes, it's on and off actually. So
Oh, okay. Why a 6?
no, I see the prompt basically, it takes up more values when coming up. And prompt, I would say it's very not very specific.
You know what? For what it is, I think I'll stick with an 8. But if I were to be like super snobby, I'd drop points because now that we've talked about like it should provide its own comments for it, I would love for it to give like JS doc commenting stuff before this function. Like, what should we be expecting for date and what should we be expecting for format? Because this is, when you look at this code, it's fairly ambiguous of like what exactly is it thinking we would be giving it, in my opinion. But I would love, but if it included a comment block that resembles JS doc standards, then it wouldn't be ambiguous anymore, and it would be like oh yeah, that's exactly what it's explaining basically why it gave us that information.
That would be really cool.
Would be awesome, actually. Yeah. And if you really want to be snobby, do we want to go down the route of ES 2021 expectations?
Yeah, it's true because I have
Right.
2021 turned on, so it would work if this was like, I don't know, if all this Hacktoberfest veterans in here and stuff like that. It's hard for me to not write constant anymore instead of var. So I would have expected a lot of this stuff to be either constant or like, just not var basically.
But that's
So-
the model, I guess.
And yeah, and if they really train this off of mostly ServiceNow data, that means most of the ServiceNow scripts are going to say var.
The last
And if it's
19 years.
Yeah, and if it's a large language model, almost all of it is going to say var.
Oh, there's a couple questions in the chat. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it. It's hard. Just so I explain to everybody. Usually, I'm playing button clicker in the background, so I'm able to watch the chat a lot more. But since I'm doing the coding on the screen, it's hard for me to watch chat at the same time. So thanks, Paige, for calling that out. So what was the question?
So one of them was asking if it's context aware. So is it aware that you're in like a client script versus a script include?
I know highlight who asked that, but I don't know where it is.
It was Phil goes deep, and it's a little bit
There it
past.
is.
Yeah.
Is it context aware? So it is context aware for the script itself. I don't think it knows, like, as in it reads the script's lines before wherever your cursor is. So it actually will try to maintain naming of variables as you do it. Some of us have had mixed results from that, but whenever I use it, it's like, oh, if I named a variable this earlier, it reused that variable earlier that was already provided. In terms of if it knows if it's in a client script versus script include versus business rule versus, I don't know. I don't think
does.
so.
I think
it's
it
supposed
does.
to.
Oh.
Yeah, it should. It's supposed to.
But also in scripted flow actions, for instance, it can populate your outputs and take your inputs and all that.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Like if you do like an email script or something, it will return. Like it. My brain
You're
just locked up.
right.
But
I
it
do remember
returns what's appropriate for an email script, as an example. So.
You're right. I remember the in and out variables for each of the contexts were correct. Right.
Yeah.
Was there another question we need to hit?
Oh, there were a few of them, but I've kind of lost some of them at this point, and I can't scroll up for some reason.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next prompt for the game.
So I apologize.
Oh, we're gonna do this one because it's a term that might confuse it, and I want to see what happens. A glide filter to check if a record matches specific conditions. Just want to see what happens. Okay. Am I just a scrub? I don't know what glide filter does.
I don't either.
I've never heard of glide filter, so I literally can't rate this
I
one.
felt that, yes.
It's a real thing. We have context for it.
How do you determine?
I think you took
I
it
think it takes an encoded query.
from your prompt.
I never knew this existed. I thought I made it up. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we can grade it.
It's a prompt. It takes from the prompt. Glide filter.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But I have no idea how to rate this.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, but what's param 2 for this? A title?
Constructor glide filter.
Can we just run this code and check what exactly it's doing? Because glide
Okay,
filter
sure.
is a new.
Yeah, sure. Let me go into the scripts background.
Huh.
Oh.
Okay, so priority, it's
One.
high priority or second priority. Then it's running it through a filter. Hold on, I want to do just to see. Okay, so there's 67, and so it's not returning all of them. So it is really matching it. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, that's
I'm
neat.
changing to a 10 because it looks right. So hey, it works.
It did something.
It did
Like,
something.
didn't
And I'm
error
gonna.
out.
Okay, I'm giving it a. Okay, we gotta. Let me record the scores. Oh, what the heck is going on with the scores? 10, 10, 10. A 5 question mark, a 10,000. Our first 10,000. That's pretty good, and a 3. Wow, look at us all over the place. Okay, I think it's a 10 just because one of the cool things about generative AI, and I acknowledge this back and forth with all, especially because I explore generative AI tools all the time. The discoverability of things I've never seen before, and now I know because generative AI showed it to me, is what makes me really excited. So even though this, I don't know if this wasn't what I was going for or necessary, I learned something new, and I like that for myself. So my bias gives it a 10. And then, I saw Laszlo live change it to okay 9. Huh, that's cool. Okay. Paul, do you want to make a comment about the 3?
No, actually, first I thought of just light filter and like the code what it shows was not there. But once you execute and see, I learned a new thing. That's it. I'll change my score.
Okay.
For the next one, I've seen on the chat multiple times people asking if you can force it somehow to use EF 2021.
Yeah, something
if
new
it's not
today.
using
Yeah,
it
light
automatically.
filter.
Oh, sure. Let's try the same prompt, and say, "Whoa, hold on. Let me grab the prompt again. Use ES 2021. Yeah, right. That should be enough. Should I say? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Also, it's generating this really. No, I didn't. It still also gave me a wildly different result.
Good.
Okay, let me try.
Maybe you can turn off that script and try it. Turn off.
I'll use it for one of them.
Well,
Constant.
kind of.
An effort was made.
Yeah, it should have been able to infer though that what I'm trying to go from.
Well, isn't that actually like better though? Because records does change if you're gonna loop through it. Maybe.
Yeah, but you shouldn't use var then.
Yeah, maybe let would be better, but I didn't use const at least.
I mean,
Constant,
if you,
yeah.
yeah. Well, no, actually, when you're instantiating a glide record, it would be const also. It wouldn't be let. Because the form of what this is doesn't change, so it's still const. What's being given to the instantiation can change. So const is actually
Absolutely not
correct.
logical to me, but we learned something.
Yeah, but I mean, if
Yeah.
it thought it was supposed to be var, it should have been let.
Yeah. That we can agree on.
I mean, so for those of you at home, like, oh, I'm still diving into ECMAScript 2021. Change all of your vars to lets. That's like level 1, and eventually change all of your lets to const, and then change them to let in case if you know if it's going to change. Does that make sense? It's like the 2 levels of learning ECMAScript 2021 is you change everything to let first, and then eventually you learn to do const unless you need let. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Do we want a lowball one or do we want to do a more complicating one?
Complicated.
Ooh, let's do a glide date time one. Let's do glide date time. So this one, we're going to do this. A glide date time manipulation to get the start of the next month. Wait, what did I mean by that?
Just gonna humiliate all of us with these glide date time things, man.
Nobody gets glide date time correct on the first try. Oh, okay. That's simple enough. Oh, okay. All right. Let's run it just to make sure. Yeah, that's right.
That works.
Cool. No notes. 10 for me.
I'll just leave my previous score.
10,000. Okay. All right. Perfect. Our first perfect 10. Oh, I mean 10 and the outlier of 10,000.
It's mostly just laziness. So.
Okay. We'll do asterisk. Okay. All right. And what could we change this prompt to be a little bit more complex? Because we know there's a lot of instances of glide date time just being confusing. Let me check my prompt list if I had a better one.
Maybe something like get incident, like not just a get the start of, but like actually have it run a query on a set of records and return those records within a period of time. That makes sense.
Check for all incidents that
Maybe we want to give a range
before the start of the next month. Return all incidents that happen before the start of the next month. I think might be an interesting way to go about it.
But it's still all incidents. Okay.
Oh wait, did this override it?
Huh, it's interesting.
Let me try it again. What was it? Return all incidents that were created before the start of next month.
Cool.
I mean, that's right.
Yeah.
That's correct. I mean, it's not using glide date time, but why would you at that point?
And we didn't tell it to, so.
And this is pretty much how the encoded query will look like, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we can. It should return all of them. So I think that was like 67 or something earlier. Oh, I'm not doing anything with it. Yeah, okay, it works. It's correct. Sanjeev in the chat really just said return all incidents created on weekends. Oh, I put a question mark. What is it gonna do? Is this created on weekend? Is that a thing?
Are we learning a lot of new things today? I don't know. See if it works.
Fake. I don't know.
I also don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I didn't info it.
Oh, records. Zero.
Huh. I don't want to go through the incident table to verify if that's working or not. Okay, let me go back to my list of stuff. I have a lot of random ones. We can do you I have one that is kind of like it would have, you know how so earlier we did regex to validate email addresses. I have this one, a function to validate a phone number format, but I didn't say to use regex. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Can you add like a specific country code to it, or you want to keep it generic?
Do you want to, or do you want to leave it open and see what it does?
Let's leave it open.
Or US. Let's do for Canadian.
I think let's do it without the country, and then we'll try with the country.
Okay. /+ Can't remember what that is in regex. Oh, it's checking for the of the preceding token. The beginning? No. I was about to type in my phone number. I'm not gonna test it. Okay. I mean, it's cool that it gave me something, so I'm gonna give it score for that. But we would need to validate the working regex for it. And then I'm not so concerned about the score for that one, just because it's hard for us to actually create it. For pick a country.
UK.
India.
Germany.
I heard.
Plus 9.
I heard UK first.
United. Yeah. UK. Yeah.
Why am I?
Yeah, it's correct.
Is that correct? Plus 44.
It's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
All right. Cool. It's nice things to not have to look up, I guess, if you're inside of here. I would, if you're looking. So here's the thing, though. Like, if I was doing this as a customer environment, like I would probably still not do it inside of Code Assist or code generation, because it's a call to the LLM. I would probably go just Google it. So that's an interesting part of that. Next prompt. Let's see. Oh, this one's interesting. A script to create a catalog item programmatic. So now you could tell, like, I'm getting into, like, I jumped down to should be more complex. I've never done this before. Have any of you created catalog items like this?
Nope. I didn't. Nope.
I have, but it's been a while.
No.
Should I see if this works? What am I using this instance for? Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, that should be fine. Oh, it did something.
So it's created a data.
That's not there.
If you go back to the script window, can't you just click on the little number, the 1?
Click that. Yes.
Well, it didn't have a cat item on there. So let me look for the other one. Oh, okay. Why didn't it pop up in my...
Great.
No, these are rollbacks. Hold on. There they are. Okay. Did it really create 2? Oh, no. It's the same record. Oh, it created and then updated it, I think. Huh. I didn't know. See, I didn't realize that there was a ServiceNow actual method to do it. I would have just, like, glided to the table and inserted a new thing and then did it all manually. Again, see, discoverability is such a fun thing about generative AI. Oh, that's interesting. I guess we should grade this one.
It's almost like unearthing some of these super old APIs that nobody's using anymore.
Yeah. Was it you, Laszlo, or was it somebody else? Someone gave me this idea for how to run like games that are focused on learning AI and stuff like that. And one of the games was, hey everybody, we're going to teach you what an LLM is. So what we're going to do is you group into a group of 10 people, and when we give you a prompt, you're going to all come up with what the best response is. And that's like a very dumbed down version of what an LLM is. And so depending on how that LLM is trained, if that 10-person group has one person that knows the secret texts and lore of ServiceNow documentation of sn_sc.cat item, boom, that person provides a much easier way to do this prompt. and that's generally like what an LLM is. That an LLM is trained on all of the documentation and all of the APIs, and so I'm just surprised that there's enough data for it to know that this is the much more easier viable solution than doing it manually. So that's cool. Huh. Color me impressed. Okay. Anything going on in chat that I need to go back to?
No, not really. Just talking about some stuff around CMDB, but I think Laszlo already handled that. So
Yeah, it's a pretty active chat. Thanks for everyone for chatting. I know I usually display them on the screen, but fun stuff on this. What's happening on here? What about this one? Let's do a function to validate XML against an XSD schema. So hopefully it says like an input for us to provide the schema, but it'll be interesting what it comes up with for this. Or is there a way for us to tie this specifically into ServiceNow stuff? Because this could technically be a not ServiceNow thing. Nope. Okay, we're gonna run it as is.
Oh, interesting.
No codes.
Our first zero.
Broke it.
Hold on. Let me try that again because I did double click submit. So nope, it doesn't like it.
No put
Okay.
suggestions.
I really wanted to do this.
So still have a job.
I really wanted to do this earlier. This isn't on my prompt list, but I wanted to say a Pikachu ASCII art. Oh, it's okay. I wanted to see it come up with it. Okay, never mind. Let's go back to the prompt list. Here what is a function to convert currency values. Whoa,
Oh.
is it?
Didn't see that one coming.
I did not expect it to give us Python suddenly. And it tried to do it in a code block too. Do you see these backticks?
mm-hmm.
What? Why? You know what's funny though, because there's this is kind of the start of what you could know, because this wouldn't be hard to translate to JavaScript.
I was expecting an API.
That's so interesting that it gave Python. Well, it's Markdown. It's not.
Gotta give it a
Well,
12
the back
now.
are Markdown, yeah, but it's trying to give Markdown of a Python script, because that when you say Python after the 3 backticks, that's you're telling the language, you're telling Markdown what language you're talking in. Has any of you seen that in Cogent yet?
No.
I've seen
It
that.
straight up gave us a large language model. Shaquille is saying he's seen it, but we can't have him elaborate on it. Shaquille's sitting there like, yep, I've done it, tried, tested, done everything necessary to vet it, have gone all the lengths of doing it.
I made it write glide filter in Python.
I was waiting for us to get a really off the rails response from it.
Honestly, where is this coming from? Like, how is it in the model?
It's the NowLLM. And so from what I understand, the NowLLM, oh man, yeah, we're allowed to divulge this because okay, yeah. The NowLLM is based off of a fork of the Hugging Face LLM.
Starcoder, right?
Yeah, the Starcoder. Starcoder is trained off of like something like 20 billion tokens or something like that. So it has, and it's all trained off of all licensable open sourced code. So no scraping off of other contexts. It's trained off of a fork of that, and then trained off of usable instance data. So like we are able to use it. It's not private data. And then all of the docs and APIs. That's what I have collected over to answer that question. I don't know if there's I don't know what the real answer is, but I think that's what it is. And just being part of the conversation, hearing the conversations over the past year. So it makes sense that it knew Markdown and a Python script because it's been trained on all that stuff.
Yep, that's my understanding as well.
So if you are augmenting from the public cloud, then it happens to take the code from the Python. So it depends on the vector database which you're using. And in the vector database, if you are augmenting from the public cloud, then it's well trained with Python, just not Python, but any other languages too.
And
maybe the prompt you've given is a very generic, so that it takes up the code from the the star code that consists of Python as well, right? Like, so probably it might take up. I'm giving here.
Wait, say that question again.
I think it was an answer from Paul.
No, I'm just sharing the thoughts.
Yeah, and John is. I mean, I think we know this part. John in the chat is mentioning like you can't really do that unless you know the an API call. But I mean, it was doing it with what it could because it did have a cutoff date for when it was trained. So I wonder if it was going off of what it was on that date when it was trained, or the info that it did have. So that's interesting. Let's do one or two more because we are getting closer to time. Be an interesting one. I got more glide record and glide aggregate stuff. I have more random function stuff. I have one about creating a workflow programmatically. Do you think we might learn something ancient from that? I just want to see what happens with this. Oh, it's just starting a workflow context. Okay. Yeah, it's just starting a workflow context. So not what I was asking for, which I don't know if it's possible to do. Easily, at least.
Do you have anything with recursion in your prompts?
Oh. Can you name one? I don't have one in my prompts. Can you think of one to ask it?
Maybe an example of recursion in ServiceNow?
Maybe? Nope.
No code solution.
Recursive function. Let's see what happens. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess a factorial one is a recursive function. Recursive function in ServiceNow. I mean, technically that's correct. It's still the same. It's a recursive function placed inside of ServiceNow.
Can we just try a complex one? Let's say you want to open a pop-up model which gives you a search option, a reference option to search for a parent record, like that.
It's rough. So like a modal, a script.
That's client side, right? So I don't think this scripting glue will do that. But we can try.
There's like glide modal that might like one of those work on the server side.
Well, let's start basic with a pop-up modal
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
What the?
Okay.
It looks like UI builder something.
Why
Yeah.
build up person that
Well, it's not even.
No, it's not giving the right one.
Yeah, this is. You're right. This is components.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
What would be the what's the modals for client-side scripting called? Glide? Is it? No, it's not.
Light mode.
What is the modal class for?
Glide modal.
Is it glide modal?
There you go.
I mean, that's more. See that, but that's the hard part though. Like, if it sometimes it seems like it's really good about giving us things to discover, but then sometimes it's like I needed to know glide modal or have done it. So in that sense, I mean, like it creating the structure of glide modal first is nice. Well, what is John saying? A glide modal to prompt me with a search bar. Glide modal to prompt me with a search. Why am I typing it out straight when I can copy paste? I'm so stupid sometimes. Friday. I mean, it's no, but I mean, no. See, like if you were copying and pasting it, and you know you're going to give it like 6 variables, anyways, that's kind of the structure of it. Then I can just my var name 1, my 2, next one. Like it's I don't have to copy and paste the lines. That's kind of neat, but it's not what we asked for. So it didn't input one of those as short descriptions. Okay. You know what? That was actually a very entertaining stream. We're getting close to time, so we need to go back to this. That was actually kind of entertaining.
It was.
I didn't drink any of my drink.
I drank all.
Nice. Live coding happy hour. We're supposed to rate our drinks at the end. It's Mandarin Jarritos with alcohol in it. It's delicious. I'm gonna give it. Oh, so we usually give 1 to 5, in 0.25 increments, and if we had success, you can add another 0.25 to your score, just for bonus. So I'll give this a solid 4.25 with the bonus of 4.5. Jocelyn?
5 for me. I literally drink this like every day. So
Jocelyn, we talked about this.
I know.
Should get
Hand signs. Hand signs.
five.
He changed the number.
Laszlo.
For me, this is a 4. It was pretty good. A little bit strong, not perfect, but otherwise, good beer.
Thanks. Paige?
It's water. I mean, you can't go wrong with water. So
Perfect 10,000.
It's a 5 for me. It's
Nice.
a 5 for me.
Cool.
It's really good.
I gotta try that.
The first
sometime.
time I'm trying this.
It's local though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a Indian company. It's Bira. So they have been producing many other different tastes. I think this is one of them. It's good.
not a big fan. Same thumbs up. Just take it out.
Actually, I feel Paul is experiencing the thunder. He's still into that thunder.
Tasting the thunder.
Before we end, I forgot to do some of my normal plugs. We are in the middle of our Xanadu content. We were supposed to talk about that, so we're doing a bunch of Xanadu stuff. This was relevant for the sake of this new code assist format is in Xanadu, so we are doing Xanadu content. If you go to devloop.sn/Xanadu, you'll see all of our other things that we have planned for this content season. So a lot of different analysis stuff, a lot of different upcoming tools stuff like the ServiceNow Studio, IDE, all that kind of stuff is in there. Yeah, I'm not the greatest at plugging things because It's a fun show. Oh, we've been told to say every episode, please like and or subscribe.
Oh.
Very convincing.
Oh, don't you have to talk about like the little bell thing or whatever? Isn't that the other part of the line?
The bottom.
Press the bell
Push the
button.
bell.
Press the bell button.
Hit that bell button. It really helps out the channel. It's okay. Anybody else have any like closing remarks or shout outs or anything?
Yes,
I
very
would
nice.
like to go.
So
first.
we want Shakil to say that. We want Shakil to say that.
Yeah.
Shakil.
Shakil,
Go ahead,
Over to
Shaquille.
you.
End the episode for us, buddy.
yeah.